It's just, it's good. Okay, so I think we're streaming. I think we're recording. Kelly, it's all you, sister.
Well, I'm still wrapping up with this pretty bad case of bronchitis. Today's 2 weeks I've been dealing with this stuff,
Oh my
so
God.
I'll try to get through it without having a coughing attack. But anyway,
Well,
I'm
you know
just
we got you covered if you need some help.
I know I got a little sip of something over here, but
Little s-
anyway, okay. I see Dawn is coming on right now. I see Carla. Um, anyway, so excited to be here and really thankful to see you, Lisa, and honestly a little surprised with everything that you've got going on. Looks like you got a mountain of boxes behind you, but
If
you know,
if you hear something tumble, don't worry. It's just like
It's
maybe
in a box. It's all good.
it's hopefully I packed well. I don't know.
well, but you know what? To that point, I mean, I said I'm kind of surprised to see you with everything that you've got going on with the move, but honestly, I'm not because you consistently show up, even when it's not convenient, and that's really kind of what was on my heart to talk about with y'all tonight. Because, um, well, first of all, for those who may or may not know me, my name's Kelly Cipriani, and I'm in the Clayton area, just outside of Raleigh. I've been with Green Compass almost since the very beginning, and I'm joined by my friends Lisa and Meredith, and Dawn Dutcher has just popped on to. There she is on camera. And the four of us have just really been talking a lot about the importance of perseverance and showing up and consistency. And I think more importantly for me is just support, support of good friends. And that's every single one of you on this call. And, all of us having been here as part of Green Compass for such a long time, we've seen highs and lows. We've all seen, times where our business is just thriving. We've seen times where, whether it's the economy or it's something going on in our personal lives that kind of takes us away for a minute, where we kind of have to take our foot off the gas and be more present with the people and with the situations going on in our lives. But I'm just so excited that, you know, this week we've all locked in our fifth trip with this company. And this one has been a really, really difficult one. I think we've all agreed that it's been really challenging, albeit fun, because we are doing something that we love, which is sharing natural options with anybody who will listen to us, anyone who has an open heart and ears to receive what we believe is the truth. Um, it's been a challenging one, so it's just made it even sweeter to be able to look around and see that we all have earned this trip, and we've earned every bit of it through hard work and just through showing up and continuing to share something that we believe in so passionately about. Excuse me, please. So, it's just kind of made me think about just the word fear and sometimes what that looks like. And I don't mean like fear of jumping out of an airplane or fear of going up to pet a snake or something like that, which was evidenced in Palm Springs. I will not do because I will run the opposite direction when we see a rattlesnake on the trail.
I mean, to your defense, it was a rattlesnake.
Yes, yes, it actually was. But Meredith had to
Wise
coax me
decision.
on around.
It was fun. I
But
enjoyed it. I knew as soon as I saw it, I was like, man, it's getting ready to get good right now.
yes, and it was good.
It
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 was good. And we all
definitely
survived.
it definitely showed who were the girly girls, who were the city girls, and who were not.
We were
But
there for a good time, but not for a long time.
thank God. Thank God we survived it. But just seriously, just sometimes I think it's, the fear of, do I have what it takes? Um, am I smart enough? And do I have enough connections? Do I have enough time? Do I have, just all the things? And sometimes I think it's even the fear of success sometimes that we might even kind of hold ourselves back. I mean, do y'all ever feel like that? Like if you reach a certain level, if you get to, a certain level and you've got all these people depending on you, there's a little bit of imposter syndrome kind of kicks in. I mean, I know that has with me, but this was my first soiree, in anything direct sales related. This little passion project that's just turned into something so beautiful, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and had a lot of success, kind of in spite of myself, in spite of that. But it was, the expression I've used often. It was knowledge on ice, but passion on fire with me. I just knew that this was something really special that I needed and wanted to be a part of, and that just kind of caught very quickly. And I think all of us who have been here since the beginning experienced something similar to that. You know, um,
I mean, my goodness, Kelly, I remember when I first got my kit, I didn't even know how to take the tincture. I mean, I literally had no idea. And somebody told me, I don't know, it's like take one or two drops. And I'm like, droppers? And she's like, no, I think it's drops, just drops. And I'm like, what did I get myself into? And then somebody else reached out, showed me the ropes, held my hand, and I'm like, I get it now. And I'm with you because I think I ended up building a business before I even knew
Yeah.
I built a business.
yep.
I was so excited to share with all my friends that I wanted them to feel as good as I was feeling. I, I don't know. It's no different than to me. It's no different than offering somebody a piece of gum if they need one, or recommending a really good restaurant that I was at. I was just excited. I don't know.
Yep. Yep. Well, same thing. And I think that for me, just the fact that there have been times over these 6 years where things have come easier to me. There might be like a month. I remember one month in particular. I had 5 people partner with me in one month because they were like, "Oh my gosh, like this is amazing. I want to be a part of this too." And then there might be,
After you've had a dry spell of about 6 months.
right,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'll be honest with you, it's not even that different than how real estate is for me in my real estate career. You know, I may have one closing that literally my commission is more than I made in a whole year as a teacher. But then I may have several months where there's nothing, but it's doing the behind the scenes work, working on, filling that pipeline, So it's really kind of akin to that, but it's just showing up every single day and being consistent and letting people know what I have to offer. What am I bringing to the party? You know, but I think
You're
that,
bringing all the things to the party.
oh,
You are the party.
You are the party,
Including the llama floaty.
y'all,
including the llama floaty.
I found my little dragon today. I had to bring him back. So so excuse me. I inflated him. I resurrected him, and also I found a floaty that I believe came from Pool Float Terra in Palm Springs. So I've got 2 incentive trip floaties at my house. So I think that's just a party waiting to happen. I'm just saying.
I'm
So we
gonna
need to get everybody here.
I'm tagging her in this as Pool Float Terra.
Yep.
Hashtag pull float Terra.
Yeah, exactly.
She's our favorite, Tara. So
Vacay Terra is pretty fun.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's pretty amazing. But
Oh,
it's been really interesting. I think that, well, to be 1000% transparent, the four of us, five of us, including Reagan, um, we've been doing a lot of our planning and talking about how what we're gonna do and stuff like that. It's funny because the majority of us had just decided like if we don't get this trip, it's not gonna be the end of the world. And a lot of people would probably think that that's not really any big deal, but to be honest with you, when you've earned every single incentive trip since the fruition of
Mhm.
the company, to not earn one trip kind of feels like, well, crap. I finally, you know, it finally happened. My dip finally has officially been recognized. Um, and I, I think that there's a lot of, I personally, coming off of the high of being in the top 10 in sales for the entire company for a few years, I really mentally had to prepare myself for whenever that didn't happen again. And it's not that there was a lack of trying, it's just that there were people who were obviously doing more work than I was at that juncture in the game. And all of us have full time jobs, full time families. Some of us got some younger kids in sports. Some of us got some younger kids that were homeschooling. Some of us have some older kids that are having grandbabies and we're taking care of those. Some of us have got kids that we want to go party with at the beach. Like, I mean, we all got other things going on other than just a 9 to 5. Um, and so when you've kind of ridden the high of hitting the top stuff in the company, hitting the incentives, hitting the top ranks for sales, for recruiting and things like that. Personally, me, I have to mentally prepare myself because I am so into hitting those goals that when I don't hit them, sometimes it ends up being a way bigger crushing blow than what I would really like to admit. It's an ego punch for me. I would reckon that that's probably very similar to what a lot of other people experience as well, who are high achievers, overachievers, ever doers, ever workers, workaholics, whatever you want to call it. But so we had all kind of prepared ourselves for not earning said trip. And the funny thing is, Lisa popped off first about what, 20 days ago? So about
I
three or
don't
4
know,
weeks
what
ago.
did I say?
You
You got
you
it,
just
got the
yeah,
trip.
like
Yeah.
when you hit the incentive trip, and I was like, dang, Lisa hit
Yep.
it. And Lisa's in the middle, if y'all don't know, of selling a house, buying a house.
Can y'all see this?
Yeah, yeah. Sold this house, buying another house, had a grandbaby about 4 weeks ago,
6.
6 weeks ago. Okay. Um,
And I was in Virginia last weekend helping my son move.
right.
And I
So
have a full-time job.
right. So in full-time grandma duties.
Yeah, that too.
And so she hit about 20 days ago and earned the incentive trip, and we were like, dang, Lisa, that's amazing. Good for you. I hope you have a lot of fun. You're not going to see us there. And then the next thing I know, Dawn pops and Dawn earns the incentive trip. And she's doing all the things. She's got animals being bred, being born. She's got kids that she's teaching, things to. She's running a wedding venue, an event venue, nursing on the side is what it feels like a full-time nursing gig on the side at this point. And so she pops and she earns the incentive trip. And then the next thing I know, Kelly's like, I'm literally 50 cents away from earning the trip. She's got one advocate that's 10 cents away, another advocate that's 40 cents away. So that's going to happen. Reagan is sitting there like, it's just not going to happen. And then the next thing I know, she's contacting me and she's like, I've got a girl who's getting ready to sign on with the biggest enrollment kit, which will quite literally put her $2 away from being that point. And then her advocate underneath of her is this close from hitting senior team leader for the first time. So she'll get rank up points as well. So she's going to hit. And then I had a girl that was getting ready to, she was a couple of bucks away from, being my advocate point, and then I hit. So it just is wild to me how all of that has culminated in the last 20 to 25 days and going from, oh, we're not going to be there. It's cool. I'm fine with it. I made up my mind to, well, crap. Now I got to look at plane flights. Did I actually talk Philip out of not letting me go on this trip? Like, I'm going to have to backtrack, be really nice, be like, hey, are you sure that, like, I'm not it's okay for me not to go because everybody else has hit it now, and it's
Well,
like,
and that's the thing, right? Now we're like, wait, you got it. You got it. Yeah. Oh, I have to get it now.
right.
But
Mhm.
the thing that I found so interesting as we were all having chats, and I don't know, I hope everybody in the world has a crazy chat messenger like we do. I really do. I just really do. I mean, I literally took a nap today for 35 minutes and I came back and there was, I don't know, 42 text messages from the three of you. But
And it
the
was
common
all very,
thread,
very important.
they
Very,
were very important.
And
The
entertaining.
common thread that we all chatted about with this trip though was everything I kept hearing, right? I'm not pushing. I'm not forcing this. Every time I heard that from every one of us, it was, and it to me, it goes back to something so simple that we've heard on leader calls. I've said it for years and years and years, but it's take care of the people and the numbers will come. And I think that's what's so different about the four of us. We just literally, we want everybody to feel better and be better. And it may be with our products and it may not be with our products. We're not here to tell people that this is it, this is the end all to be all the things, it's going to fix all the things. But we're here to say, hey, we've been there. We know what that feels like, and it sucks. And we found something that can help us, that helped us. Maybe it didn't help me, maybe it helped Meredith really feel their best selves. Have you ever tried? That's literally who we are, right? I mean, that's who we are. We're not out there um, pushing what we have down everybody's throat. It's just we lead from the heart, and I truly believe when you lead from the heart, really good things happen.
Well, you can't fail, right?
Yeah.
And I've always said that even to my own children. When you are genuine and authentic and well intentioned, you can never fail. It may not necessarily be the right time for someone to use a product, or their comfort level isn't there, or, you know, finances, or, maybe they want to join us and do this, but something is holding themselves back, right? And every one of us has that little tiny inside voice of self doubt. And as much as we would love to all have everybody that we've ever known make a purchase from us right away the first time they hear it, or what have you, we have learned that it is the tincture of time. And it truly is when someone is ready for the information, or when someone is ready, they know that we are the trusted resources. And that's when people come around. And that truly is what I want, is for people to be ready and to feel ready, or at least to have an open mind and hear and listen about it. And, the rest does just come authentically. This is the very last thing that I ever thought that I would be doing. I'm hands down going to tell you, I thought every single direct sales company was like buying a used car, right? It was like torturous and painful, and somebody is just hounding me constantly. And this is not how I run my business. That is not how I want others to run their business. I want them to be authentic, and because we have so many products that have a multitude of uses, right? And help so many different people. That really has been so easy. Again, I always say this, we're not slinging leggings. No offense if you're slinging leggings, but you're not going to have, the same customer base. We have a product that is literally appropriate from birth to end of life and everything in between. Pets, rabbits, dogs, cats, what have you, right? So it's easy. It really, I mean, I'm saying easy. It's not easy. None of it is easy.
It's
But
simple.
anything worth having, it's simple. Thank you, right? And it's duplicatable because people, there is a need. We live in a day and age now where there's so many people that have an issue, a concern, a problem that they want to address. And we are seeing this great green revolution, right? This wellness revolution. We are going from like big pharma with a PH to big pharma with an F instead, where people just want to get back to the basics. And it's such a cool thing to see. And,
Yeah.
you know, as far as the trip goes, I'm going to tell you, I have worked for the same hospital now for, gosh, since 2011, you know, and their expectation or their perception of appreciation is to come around with some stale Bavarian pretzels during Nurses Week, you know, and ice cream and cappuccino during Nurses Week. And
Yeah.
it's not that I'm not appreciative, but to have a company that truly invests in you, where no matter how hard I work at the hospital, nobody's given me a trip away, right? Not even a night at the local like Motel 6. It's just not happening, you know? So to see this though, it is like mind-boggling to go from that type of a 9 to 5 job where it's like you go in, you do your job and you leave and that's it, to really taking it outside of corporate America and seeing that there are companies that will invest back into you. And I'm forever grateful that I was stopped being such a snob about it and just opened my heart up. And I guess that's kind of my takeaway from all of it.
Well, and it's I don't think, all right, none of us set out to do this. None of us woke up one day and said, I am going to be a hemp entrepreneur. It just kind of naturally came about it. And what I think is so cool is that, I have a quote on my computer. It's there all the time. It's something that Meredith Cook said. And she said the business was built when the struggle of one turns into the silver lining for many, you're in the right place. And, I think that just speaks to our heart. And with the amount of hours we all put in our day jobs, right? Because there are multiple, including having family and those types of things. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would build a business like this. And but in some aspects, when my corporate day job doesn't fill my cup, it really does not fill my cup. I am great at it. I do really well at it. My company thinks I'm fabulous. When I'm in it and I'm on, but it doesn't like fill my cup. It's not my passion. And for so long, I just thought, well, that's just the way it is, right? It's just the way it is. Or I'm too busy to do anything else. And then, ta-da. And I'll tell you, we've all talked about this before. And we've talked about the impact that we're making. And let me tell you, I got a message from somebody yesterday, and I'm just going to paraphrase, but I'm going to read it to you. She and I were just chit-chatting about, she was excited for me that I earned the incentive trick, and she knows I'm an overpacker. So she was sharing with me like some tips and tricks on how to pack, right? And then she says to me, I'm jumping from my unhappy job. I have forever wanted to work in a company who puts reward incentive trips together for their clients. And I said, oh my gosh, I am so excited. Congrats on getting out of your non-happy job. And her reply back was, I don't know why I waited so long. One of your posts resonated with me about 3 months ago. I decided that being comfortable with an uncomfortable job wasn't where I needed to be anymore. I needed to be uncomfortable with a job shift. And
Praise.
and
That's
it
amazing.
just made me I mean, it made me tear up, all the things, but that's the impact we're here to make with women. Yes, feel better. Yes, buy our products if you want. Yes, join our team if you want. But really what we want them to say yes to them, right? Whatever lights them up. And
Right.
I don't know, that message yesterday just hit me hard. It was a good one.
That's
Well, you
powerful.
know what? That is huge. And that was when you're reading that, I've actually been speaking to a couple of nurses that I work with who have not completely left our facility, but left to go per diem, right? And that is a leap of faith for a lot of people to say, you know what? I'm going to start to live life on my terms because, again, this isn't meeting my needs, whether they're financial, physical, time with your family, whatever it is. And I was so proud of those nurses. And when we talked about it, I said that. I'm like, you know what? I know this seems scary to you now, but you have just opened up doors
Oh,
for
Uh-oh.
Dawn, we're
yourself.
losing you.
You're freezing up, honey.
I love that face when she's frozen.
That's funny.
Oh, she got the droopy eye.
Well,
And that's what happens, people, when you live on a hobby farm with bees and goats and chickens and dogs and all the
And
yeah, a goat probably
now
ate through a wire or something.
that this is kind of one of them has gone, oh geez.
Oh, this is us. This is
Oh
us.
my God. I just,
No, I
yeah.
wanted just, I
Dawn,
There
wanted
she
to,
is.
Dawn, I don't know what you were saying. I think it was extremely heartfelt.
She was talking to the goats.
Well, it's crazy because I could hear everything on this end, so it wasn't frozen on my end.
so you heard all of our commentary. Yes.
I did. Yes, thank you for that.
Good stuff.
Maybe
I
you
love
can,
it.
maybe you can share your heart with us again.
You know what? I'm not even sure if it's worth it.
It's
Anyway,
definitely
believe in
good.
yourselves. Take the chance. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter what it is in life. Life is too short to go through it miserable. It really is. And you know what's interesting too? I feel like as we're reaching middle age, so
I'm
many of my
past that,
friends,
but thank
right?
you.
Well, listen, so many of my friends are 50-ish, right? 50 to 60. And so many of us are reaching the point where we know that what we are doing is not filling our cup. It is not meaningful. It's not impactful. And people are looking just to be happy. And sometimes it might be leaving your day job and starting a coffee truck, right? Or something different. But don't be afraid. You are only limited by yourself. And that I can guarantee is the God's honest truth.
Is 50 middle age now? Is it 50?
Well, I mean, it
Because
depends
if
on
it
how
is,
long
I'm
you
on
want
the
to live.
backside of that.
If I
Yeah.
live to be 120, then I'm exactly middle age. But yeah,
Listen, Meredith, if we're going by the life expectancy in this country, you've already hit it too. So
Okay.
that's why I said I'm past it.
So I
Well,
can see the silver lining.
I wanted to share something with y'all very quickly. This just came to me because you, Lisa, mentioned about Meredith Cook. And I was so lucky that I was able to go to the event that we had here in the Raleigh area on Thursday night, and she was there. Some of our corporate crew was there, but also Meredith Cook, our founder, president, the heart behind this company, was there. And y'all know she always makes it a point, if she doesn't know somebody, she wants to personally meet that person. Everybody in the room is important to her, and she makes that known. So she shared her story at the opening of the event, and I got some FaceTime with her. I had a guest, and then I had a newer advocate who went with me also, and he was excited about the opportunity to meet her. So this new friend of mine went, and we had been talking about the company. She was looking for a CBD company to hang her hat with. Um, and she was already loving everything that she saw. But let me tell you that going to that event and hearing from Meredith Cook's mouth her story, it's just so profound. It's so powerful. And, if it's too thin to smear, it probably, is not something that you want to align yourself with. But Lisa, felt the authenticity of every single person in that room. And she said, there's something special about this community. I can feel it. This is something I can hang my hat on and, proudly align herself with and put her reputation on the line. And when I got to talk to Meredith, she said, I knew that you would be here tonight, Kelly. And it was just such a wonderful compliment to me because she said, I know if there's anything local, you're going to be there. And, I know that we all had a training. We had a team training, with Marlise, and I had to, kind of choose because I couldn't be in two places at once. But I was so thankful that I went, obviously, because, these two newer people got to go and be there and meet Meredith in person, which is huge. But even just for myself, it just reiterated that belief that I have in what we're all a part of and what we all know that is so very special. And it just kind of took me back to those early days when I didn't know what I didn't know, but I knew that I needed to be a part of this. I knew that it was something that was going to be special and big. I just had no idea what it was going to turn into. So sometimes I just, I find myself in those rooms and introducing new people and wanting them to see what I see and what I've experienced. And what I can say with certainty is that my belief today, 6 years in, is even stronger than it was at the beginning. Even though, those highs and lows that we talked about earlier and those moments of, self-doubt when that creeps in, but just the conviction and the belief is so strong. So I know that even if I say, yeah, I'm going to give myself grace if I don't earn this trip, because I know that I'm doing everything to the best of my ability, and I show up for the right reasons. But sometimes you do have to give yourself grace. But I never, ever, ever gave up. I hung in here. I was like, okay, it's within my sights. And then when all of you started, popping, earning it, I was like, well, I'm gonna leave everything I have on the map. And I'm so glad that I did.
Well, I think that's part
October's
of,
gonna be fun.
yeah, I think that's part of what really honestly truly sets us apart from so many different other companies and different opportunities is because we have a set of founders that this whole company came about because of a need that they had and that they oh,
Uh, did
Reagan
you
just
also see
hit.
that text?
Reagan just hit. That's number 5. Um so it's just wild. But, that's what sets us apart is because we have a set of founders and a corporate team that is truly genuine. And there's a lot of people out there that I hear say the things about their company. And then, later on down the road, it's something else. It's something different. It's obvious that they were never truly, I don't know, taken with whatever the mission or the opportunity of the company was. Um, or maybe they just gave up on themselves or what it was, what they were doing too soon, too easily. I would honestly have to say, in the 6 years, the last 2 years have been not smooth by any stretch of the imagination. But every single time we talk, it still comes back around that we're like, I'm in love with the product. I'm in love with the mission. I'm in love with the community. That really honestly is what it all boils down to. That we've got a community that is second to none, 100%. And you hear people talk about communities in other organizations, and then they end up coming to Green Compass and they're like, yeah, no, I said something about communities before, but this is totally different. This is a different feel. It's a different situation. It's a different group of people. It's a different mindset. And then just the fact that the products are so clean and absolutely transparent, and that the corporate office wants to continue to keep it that way. They are very, very dedicated and married to the idea and the you know, married to the commitment of keeping this company transparent and clean and completely forthright in everything that they do. The only time they really keep secrets from us is when they're trying to keep a secret of a new product launch, and we're just sitting there trying to pick apart every reel and every single thing that we get a hold of as they tease it to us, and we're like, oh, what is it gonna be? What's it gonna be? That's the only time they keep secrets from us. But but other than that, I mean, they've been, and we've all had really amazing conversations with the founders and the corporate team just within the last 6 to 8 months about certain things, and not necessarily that they are hiding them by any stretch of the imagination, but when you get into those one-on-one settings and they are very honest and open with you, like, this is what we're looking at right now and it's coming down the pipeline. Just those little bits and pieces of other information that we get from them just further proves why we are still around and why we trust them to lead us, because they are so loving and compassionate and honest about everything that they are doing. And they have no problems with talking to their field about those things. I have no issue or, hesitation that I could call Meredith or Sterling, tonight or tomorrow and be like, hey, I got a concern. I need to chit chat with you about it. And they take all of that stuff very, I don't want to say personally, but they take it very intently whenever you have discussions with them like that. Just like discussions that we had on the way to go to the rodeo. I mean, that was a super fun trip. And we learned a lot of information, and we were able to talk to Sterling about some concerns about things that we had, that struggles and kind of like blocks that we were dealing with. And I don't think for a minute that he didn't take that information back to the corporate office and say, hey, look, this is some information that I got from the field. We need to address this, or we need to think about how we can incorporate this, or whatever. But just little things like that that make the biggest difference in whether you want to stay or you want to go. Because there's a lot of people that will just jump at the next great opportunity, and then they'll call it the next great opportunity. Personally, I don't have time for all of that. And honestly, it was just a sheer coincidence that I ended up getting involved with Green Compass in the first place, because anybody would look at you and tell you that of all people, I certainly don't have a lot of time. But neither do any of the women that are currently staring me in the face on this phone call. None of us have extra time. And that's what I keep on hearing from other people. Well, I got this going on right now. I'm really busy, da 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 da. When you want to do it, you will find the time to do it. You will fit it in to those spaces in your day, because in your heart that this is not just another product. It's not just another thing to do. This is a mission that culminates in us helping people deal with the same similar situations that we've had or our friends have had, and getting something into their hands that we know for a fact can change lives and can change the trajectory of people's health and people's financial situations. We've seen it over and over and over and over again in the last 6 years. We've seen people who have, and I'm not making income claims, I'm just telling you how hard people work. We have seen people who have quit their full-time jobs. We have seen people who have been able to make house payments and buy houses. We have seen people who have been able to put their kids into extracurricular summer camps and classes, things that they couldn't financially afford before. We've seen people who have been recovered drug addicts finally find a voice and be able to tell others that this product is something that literally helped them recover and continue in recovery so that they are given a voice that they can help those same people that are in those same situations. And that's where the difference comes in. When you know that you're quite literally changing someone's life. We've had testimonials where people have said something about their child started taking this product and the child came out of the deepest, darkest black hole who was considering leaving this earth. That's the difference. That is what this mission is about. So we came on here to talk about earning a trip, and here we are crying again. But that's, I mean, that's quite literally how we get to earn these trips, is by helping people. And quite honestly, that's the biggest reward, is being able to help the people. The trips are amazing. The commission is great. The community is fantastic. But at the end of the day, it's helping those people who don't have another option or don't think they have another option to cross that line and realize that there's something out there that can help them with the situation that they've been in for 6 days, 6 months, 6 years, 16 years. You're talking about people that are dealing with chronic situations that they've had to live with for so long, and then finding something as simple as an oil that's derived from a plant that has been here since the existence of this earth that God put here for us to use. And just getting back, quite literally, to square one, to using a little green plant to help them overcome the obstacles that their body is going through in that time. And that's what it really boils down to.
Mic drop.
Well, I'm not sure there's a whole lot more to say,
No.
honestly,
Mm.
frankly. And that is the God's honest truth. There are things that have been here for millennia for us that work with the human body. We've done a really good job in the industrialized medical facility, or facilities, at vilifying things that people can grow themselves, eat, right? Even things that you can benefit from at the grocery store that can help you to live better. It is mind-boggling to me that we don't even think about this, but there's a plant that grows wild in the woods and that people plant as this beautiful perennial that comes back every other year, and it's called foxglove. And we make one of the most important cardiac medications from that plant, right? Digitalis comes from the foxglove plant. Yet we have done such a great job since basically the early 1900s, for greedy, nefarious reasons. We have tried to remove this category of plants from the hands of people that need it the most. And it is strictly for money-making purposes that was done. And that's a whole nother conversation that I will not even broach right now. But do a little digging, figure out why hemp was banned in the beginning. It is not because it's harmful. It's actually just the opposite. It is so immensely helpful that it threatened the income of multi-billionaires or millionaires, as it was then. So that really is how I'll wrap this up, is just say, do your research, understand that what we're doing is legal. All of this is legal. Nobody here is like the mom drug dealer, even though my kids laugh at me and joke around about that. However, do your research, look into things, and empower yourself, because there are opportunities aplenty out there for you to live in alignment with your truth. And that is such an important thing. Finding your passion in life, figuring out what direction you want to go, figuring out what truly brings joy to your heart. And for so many of us, that is helping others, right? That's an extension of your heart. when you can share something that helps somebody else. So on that note, I think we'll probably wrap it up unless anybody has anything to add to that.
I think that's
But
beautiful.
but great job, ladies. I'm so proud of you all. And this was not an easy one, but you know, God has other plans for us. We're supposed to be working on our tan in October, I guess. So be it,
Yes,
you
sister.
know?
Tough life. right?
Excellent. Beautiful. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions whatsoever, we are here for you. We are happy to share and chat and, you know, give you all sorts of goodness and information, whether it's about the business and kind of looking into that or the products themselves too. So,
All right.
Yep.
Sleep well, everybody.
Thanks, ladies.
Hi
yes.
guys. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Love y'all. Proud of
Love
you
you.
all.